Hi guys, so today I think I'm going to try out one of the first things I got from HSN Craft Day. One of the first items I got in is this Griffin Trick or Treat bag die set, I think is what they called it. So I'll go ahead and have that link in the description box. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. As I was kind of putting my stuff away, my new haul, and also tidying up in here in my craft room and things, I just had put, my papers together, and I thought, oh, you know what, obviously these papers I just got in would probably work out really well. Bring in some other papers from my stash. I do have the Crafter's Companion All Hallows Eve paper, which is unfortunately sold out on HSN, and I don't see it on Craft Stash yet. You might want to check their site, but this paper is a little bit thinner, and obviously it's really nice stuff. I don't know that I want to use this for background for this bag, but maybe we're going to do that. I mean, there are plenty of each one, right? Oh, it hurts my heart though, because we're going to put some stuff over the top and cover it up. But maybe like this scene would be cute to use. Yeah, let's use that one. Even this makes me very sad. Oh my gosh, you guys, I got some sticky stuff on this because I used it for like foam. And that was months ago, and I haven't cleaned it off, and I'm just going to use alcohol or like Goo Gone, but I haven't done it yet. So anyway, look at that. Oh my gosh. Again, we can use the bag shape just to make a cute bag. You don't have to cover it up with things, but we're going to try some of this stuff out today. So I think this is what I'll use for the main bag. And in my haul, I had talked about how this handle is kind of a funky thing, and then somebody had responded saying that Anna said to cut it on a double over piece of paper, which is fine, and I talked about that in my video. I hadn't heard her say that, I was just looking at this, but in my mind, if you do what they're showing you here and you just place that whole die, the edge of the die has a cut line, so it's going to cut all the way through your paper. Or you leave it hanging off. Like I said, you do partial die cutting, which I used to be a big fan of back in the day. We do all kinds of fun things, like let's say you stamped an image and then you put the die for that image just part on there, and then you sandwich it in your plate sandwich so that's sticking out, so only part of it gets die cut, and it's a really fun way to do things. You're gonna have to do something like that. Or if you fold it over and leave the die hanging off the edge just like you would with a shaped card. I'll show you the die in question. This guy. They shouldn't have put a cutting edge on this if you wanted to do what they're showing you in the picture, or even what Anna was saying when you fold over a paper. So let's just pretend I have this card sitting here. You're going to run this, and this is the folded over edge. So you're going to leave this hanging off the edge, so that way that does not get cut, okay? If you're doing what they're showing you in this picture, and you just have a long piece of paper, and you're going to continue on, let me see if I can... Of course, I just rearrange things here, and I still find it hard to find something, but let's say you're going to continue on. You run this through, it's just going to cut through, right? It has an edge. So you're going to have to put in your sandwich and your plate that's hanging off, and then hopefully that doesn't cut because you left it off the edge, you did partial die cutting, and then you're going to bring it this way, and this time, again, you're also going to leave partially your plate sandwich like here, not cutting to here, because then it's going to cut through. If you fold your paper over, like I was saying right now, let's say you fold your paper over and you do that, what's going to happen, I'm going to show it to you because apparently me speaking about it doesn't make sense to people because I got a lot of comments and I'm like, that's what I was showing you. I know it doesn't make sense. It might hurt, your head, I don't know, because some things hurt my brain. Like right now we're trying to figure out canceling something. It doesn't matter. In my house, something electrical, and just to cap it off, and I'm like, yeah, just turn off the pattern, we'll do this. I'm like, oh, but what if it's a circuit? And like, I don't understand that stuff. So we're going to have somebody come out and do it. But let's pretend this is where my fold is, and I had that left off, and it's nice and long. Okay, when I take this off, this side is going to look nice because it's where the die pushed in, but once you open up the strap on this back side, it's going to be the rough cut side is going to be showing, and it's going to be rough cut. So I hope that makes sense. It's not that big a deal. I'll probably run it through just to show you exactly what I mean, so not to belabor the point, but I just want to show you guys because I know people are like, oh, I do this, and it's like, no. I know what I'm speaking of. Okay. So the base of our bag is going to be this guy, and of course we need two of this, clearly. You're just going to glue them together, and then we're going to get into the handle after that, and then your decorations. So I'll definitely run through probably all the three icons just so we can see what they look like. I think this is going to be a quick video. I don't know what happened. I woke up this morning and I started doing other things, and I'm like, oh, I need to make videos. So let's start off with this guy. Now again, this part's going to be tucked underneath, you're not even going to see it, right? So let's say if we have this, that's cute. This part, I don't know if this is small enough to then go over here. You know why I don't care? Because on one of these, you're going to completely cover it. It's one piece tucks into the other. So honestly, if I do it this way and then still get this, and part of it doesn't make it, you know, on one side, I'm okay with that. So I mean, we have all this pretty paper up here, but let's just put this around the edge there. I am going to just cut this down. And since we are, like I said, really tucking one into the other, I'm not caring if I don't have enough paper left on this opposite side. So let's just do that. I'm going to cut this very close to the edge of my die. And I'll just run this through maybe my Walmart machine, I don't know. And I'll be right back, but I'm gonna do 2 of these. Okay, guys, you know what, that didn't fit in the Walmart machine, which is basically like the Revolution, which is basically like the size of the Spellbinder's smaller Platinum 6, you know, so, which reminded me I should measure this for you guys. So let's check this out. It is 6 1/4 inches wide by just over 7 inches in the other direction. And like I said, we have this one piece. Looking real cute. Again, kind of not the heaviest weight paper. And then we have this guy. And again, you saw that it was 6 and something, so obviously I still have like a 1/4 inch on either side that's not going to cut, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm just going to use it like this anyway. Oh, and the other thing is, if you want to, you know, like gauge out your paper, like maybe I would have got the top of this guy instead, but I just left it down here, so that's okay. What I was going to say is I just wouldn't have cut it across like I did earlier if I wanted more of the haunted house in the background. So there we go. And I'm going to run that through and I'll be right back. It's going to be a little bit funky because it has cut lines right here and right here, right, for the strap. And so as you can see, they're just open instead of cutting and then, you know, closing off again. But I guess we can just follow the instruction. Because if I do not follow instruction, I get scolded a lot of times in the comments. So I'm not going to follow instruction for this. I will show you what this is showing you, but how I would do it, right, to make sense. But anyway, we're just going to fold these guys in. Well, I like doing all my scoring before. I suppose you can glue some of this together before you score, but in towards the side that is your back of your bag, right? Oh, look at that. Then this one, just, you know, be careful because again, it's open here. And here we go. And what they're telling you here is to apply adhesive to the 2 bottom tabs and go ahead and glue it like this first, and then glue one into the other one. You know, you can do this however you want. If you want to do it this way first and then bring all these guys in, but whatever. So this is the funky one that I had cut in a funny way because I wasn't going to use another piece of paper. I didn't want to waste this one, so I'll just start with this and do what they're saying, at least on one side. I might leave the other one, we'll see. But bring this up here, and again, it's short because I cut my paper short, right? Otherwise it would meet all the way up here. Okay, I'm just going to hold both of those sides nice and flush, and I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and do it to this side too, just like they're recommending. And again, we're going to nestle one to the other. I suppose what I was trying to show you, or in my head bouncing around, you know, with a lot of tonic boxes, what happens is if you have extra glue tabs, you just cut glue tabs off of one of them. So I could have cut it off that one, put it together in one long strip, and then just brought it in with the one set of glue tabs. But since they both have glue tabs, they didn't say to cut one, they're just telling you to put them together like this first. And that's fine. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so now we have our 2 sides. All they're saying is number 4 is you're going to put adhesive and then just nestle them together like this. And of course the one that where I ran out of my paper is going to go on the inside because we need that to go on the inside. But see how you're going to do a little finagling, because again, the glue tabs, we put it together first, and it's more like in box nesting inside. But if you do that, you normally have one box that's a little bit bigger and one's a, you know, regular or whatever, or one's a little bit smaller, just like any other box you put together. So now that we're doing this, it's going to stick up because they're exactly the same. And that's kind of what my worry was. I probably should have just gone with my gut, but that's okay. What I meant before is once you had them like this, cut glue tabs off of one of these little guys and glue this together all like that. It's still open, and then bring it up, close it up, and then use your glue tabs, and that will, it'll fit better in a nice, more organic way. I'm going to cut these little bits off because I don't like that. So I'm just going to cut the little bit off the top since it's going to be bumped up the way we follow the instructions. This might teach me to go ahead and just do my gut instinct instead next time. But there we go. So again, this is kind of funky right now, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to put together, but there it is, something like that. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna put glue on this one because again, this one has that funky little bit. So I'll glue all down here. Yeah, this is odd, guys. It would have been easier to just put it together flat, just like Diamond Press would describe, you know, if you're putting together their stuff, or Tonic. This is interesting. So anyway, putting glue on there, avoiding that slit, doesn't really matter right now because we're just trying to glue this together, but I guess you wouldn't really be able to put glue on the slit, would you? I'm gonna avoid that part. Well, yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna put this guy in here and put it right down, all the way down, and hold that together. And again, I removed a little bit off the top, but I probably need to remove a little bit more, and this is getting really gluey. Ugh. Okay. Well, there we go. All right. I'm gonna hold on to this. I'll probably use like a pencil or something to push down at the bottom just to keep that together down there on the sides, and just making sure everything's lining up, especially these slits, right? So how can I do that? Just, there we go. Just making sure you're not gluing those closed in a funky way. Okay, and I'll be right back. Yeah, this one's giving me problems. That's okay. Let's go from this side. There we go. Okay, I'll be back once it's all set up. So I have that set up, but I just want to show you what I would have done if I'm not following the instructions, because look, as you nestle them, you know, we have this lip here because it's harder to get all these edges together than if you just did it the way you normally do a 3D object. So I'm gonna put this aside for just a moment, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. And I just grabbed some black paper and ran it through because I need to show you this. That drives me nuts. All right, so nice side. Again, let's go ahead and score. Let's cut tabs off of one of these. So just looking at the tabs there, I'm just gonna go right down that scored area, right? And why did I turn it like that? Like a dog chasing its tail. I just turned it and went right back to where I was, but there we go. Right here. Okay. And then we have the other one. And I'm doing this really quick because I don't want to waste your time. This just makes it a little bit easier because you can see better what you're doing. Okay, so we have these two. We have this. And what I would do is glue one into the other, however you would want that to be. And I'll probably put this one inside. So, inside. Yeah. Okay. So again, glue like I always do, right to the edges. And then when you bring this guy in, you're gonna layer it right on top. And that way you can see exactly what you're doing. They're still gonna be a little bit interesting, but there we go. And, you know, give it a look like I always do and make sure it's not bothering the score line. And out here it looks nice and lined up. And now we're, you know, right at the edge. I didn't have to cut anything away. Let me move this in just a little bit there. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up because this glue does take a second to set up. And after a little second, I'll make sure that the slit is still lined up and that it's not closed. And I'll be right back. So yeah, everything looks good. And then now I didn't score these. This part's up to you. Do you want to go ahead and glue that first? And then bring this over, glue this guy, and then glue the flap. That's how I would do it. So, little glue. Oh, you know, this might make a nice little like book open. That's, well, maybe not. I just like the shape of what's happening here. But anyway, let's put this here. What I mean is like something that could open like this, but the top is open, so obviously we can't use it that way. But there we go. And then this guy also. And again, I'm always just kind of, you know, seeing where my score lines are, where it's meeting up, that's nice and flush. And now we're working on each edge one at a time, and you know exactly where it is, and it looks really nice, as opposed to this box where we had to do all three at the same time, and I have like gaps, and I really try to get in there with like this guy trying to push those very edges to touch and meet. But again, it's all these three whole sides that you're trying to line up, and goodness, excuse me, and it's more difficult in my opinion. But anyway, I'm gonna wait for these little tabs to set up, and then we're just going to glue the long flap and then glue this at the bottom. All right, now we have this guy. I'm gonna put the glue on the flap itself, again right to the edges, especially because we got that slit we need to line up and make sure it stays really nice. And because I'm spending more time doing this, guys, I'm probably gonna do the decorating part with music over, because I have a feeling my kids are going to wake up. So anyway, let's line this one up, and again, I'm able to look at it, to eyeball it, to make sure this is all very nice. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more. There we go. Up back there, up here. There we are. Okay, I'm gonna wait with that and then just glue this bottom flap. That's looking pretty good. Look, I mean, this is the rough side. You know what I'm saying, where the back of this goes? This would be the front of my bag. And now we have this last flap to contend with, and all we're gonna do is just glue that down. And that, to me, was better, but you know, do whatever you like. And I'm just gonna hold that down. And you see this gap? That's the issue. So when you have the two putting together and you're trying to push them together, you're going to have this weird gap that's going to make it odd for the sides and everything else when you're trying to stick it together. So for me, just nestle this in a comfortable way and then just finish off with this, and that doesn't look bad. You just have a nice, you know, edge at the bottom when the rest of it looks pretty much perfect. So all right, I'm gonna hold that, and then we're gonna move on to do our handle. I'll be right back. Hey guys, so I just want to show you, and it's very nitpicky, but I mean, if you want to make a project and you want to make it look really nice, I mean, look at how finished that looks. Hopefully you can see the sides, everything. It's flush and nice. And then this one, that's not as great. Okay, and I cut this because otherwise it would be sticking out a little bit on the top. Still lined up there, and then you know, you just have some gaps here and there, and it might be hard to see, but it's just much harder to line this up so every edge has something funky instead of just this bottom flap having a little bit exposed right there. I mean, it's nothing. So again, that's just the finishing touches, the way that things look good or better, you know what I'm saying? And that's not even a finishing touch, that's putting it together, right? But anyway, let's move on to the handle. She says to cut a 10.5 by 1.5 piece of cardstock, die cut and emboss the first half using the handle die. Turn the cardstock around and die cut and emboss the other half. If you do that, it's going to cut right through. And I can show you what I mean by that. We have this here. This is longer than 10.5. It's just what was left on the other piece of my paper, and I did this on purpose so I would have an 11-inch piece by like whatever this is. So if I run this through, like they're showing you that picture, this is going to cut, and then you're just going to have a die cut piece that looks like this. You're not going to be able to extend it like this, right? So what you're going to do is take it to whatever, just giving myself some room here, die cutting machine you have. So let's say even in the marquee, I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to leave some of that hanging off. So when it goes through, it's not going to cut that. And that's fine. So that'll work. Bored, guys, because it is the time. My kids have woken up, and some are singing. They're very happy. Am I right? Okay, so you're going to leave a piece of it hanging off so that that die cut edge is not cutting into your paper. And we're going to run it through, and I'm going to do this a couple different ways just so you can see what I'm talking about. Now unfortunately, sometimes the marquee moves, and I feel like it moved a little bit. Yep, this all it did was shift, and it cut the whole thing. Almost, because a little piece stayed, but that's not enough to hold it, so I'm going to tear that off anyway. I'm going to use this, just so you know, because I was going to do it differently anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just run this through and get my two pieces. Oh my gosh, this is so silly. So generally, like, sometimes when you do something like this in like the any other machine, you're going to leave a good amount sticking out. I left like a 1/4 inch, and the marquee kind of pulled it in, and it pulled the die in, and it cut it anyway. So we have two different pieces, which is basically what I was going to do, and I'm going to glue them together at the top like this. Okay, but I want to show you if you were just to fold a piece of paper. So let me grab another scrap paper. I'll be right back. Good. This was in my scrapbook, and it's like a whole paper. So I'm going to show you. I'm just cutting that willy-nilly. And we're basically just going to fold this in half. So I'm just going to fold that in half. And I'll leave more than 1/4 inch sticking out of the edge. And if you have a plate sandwich or you use a like the Anna Griffin machine or whatever, leave it hanging off the plate like that. That's basically, well, this one you're going to put it further in. It's just what I'm just like when you're doing partial die cutting, when I say leave it off the plate, that's what it means, like leave some of it hanging out. So with this one, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to leave this much hanging off that's not touching my paper. Now this time I can bring the whole thing into my marquee because it's not going to cut anything there anyway, the paper's not there, right? And so hopefully it doesn't shift on me too much that it ends up moving. Ooh, that was dangerously close. Okay, so this is a good option, but what's going to happen here, like I told you, is that the second side of your strap is going to have a rough cut look. And some people, it doesn't bother them. Look at how cool the spider is. But when you open it up, yes, you have one strap. But guess what? The prettiness of the second side is back here. Okay, guys? And that's what I was, when say, oh, yeah, just fold it and everything. No. I mean, yes and no. Yes, it works. Does not look great. Okay, so, and you can flatten that out, but then this one doesn't have the detail. So that's just, these are the things that I have in my mind just because, I've been working for a long time with paper products and all these different crafting things, and I knew that wasn't going to work because it's going to cut right through, just like you saw. I even made an area for that not to happen. But you can definitely do this if, again, you leave it hanging off enough, and maybe I'll do that again for you guys right now. So we will do this one more time, like I said, with properly, let's tape this. That's another thing I didn't really do. We're going to leave more hanging off of here so it doesn't get sucked into my machine as much, okay? Like, let's leave that much. I mean, that's excessive, but that's okay. So I'm going to put this through my machine. And this will be the best option. That's kind of what I was showing you first, but it was unfortunate that my die slid a little bit. So this would be your best option because it's going to look cute. And maybe I'll still use this strap, I don't know. So you have that cut, and you have your little embossing on your spider, and it looks nice. Now we're going to take this on this side, and you're going to line it up, and you're not going to let that cut, because if you let it cut, it's going to cut all the way through. So you have to put that there, and there's grooves there, so that's nice. I'm going to bring it as much as I can. Actually, we're going to do that way. And the grooves kind of help me line that up. And I'm going to bring this in here, and again, leaving off at least the gap that has already been cut, like that much. So you want to go into the cut area a little bit, but not too much. So there's that. That way it actually cuts to where you want it to cut. Oh my gosh, that's so scary because it brings it in and it wants to cut. But there we go. And that is the best way. Now you have one strap. That's what I was trying to show you the first time. And it's shorter. Obviously you're missing probably 1/4 inch to maybe 1/2 inch the way you had to overlap. But there it is. And it's cute and it's gonna work. Right now I'm just gonna glue these two together. And that might be what I use today. Maybe I'll use this one, we'll see. I don't think this color matches anything that I have going on. But I'll be right back. Okay. I think they're showing to glue it. It says insert the handle into the side slots of the box and secure with adhesive. Okay, that's what I thought. I said I was going to glue these together, didn't I? But you know what? I don't want to because now I'm like, It can have a silver handle. I mean, it's kind of weird. Okay, well anyway, you're going to put it in the back to come out the front. So slide this little guy in here. And then you would glue it. What's cute is that the little legs could hold on to that, but it's not enough. You see how it has like a little space, so you can kind of bring that up. They're just showing it to be glued like down here. Like that's not even something they're taking into account. And then this guy over here on this other side can slide in here. And then we're going to glue that guy. And my kids are definitely waking up. So what I'm going to do, I mean, that was the technical stuff. Everything else is just decorating. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue here. Oh, you know, it'd be cute to put a dimensional adhesive and have it kind of popped up. If I can get those little legs up here, I want to, but it's not easy to get those kind of clipped up. Ah, there we go. Oh, okay. Well, it just takes a little finagling, but you can do that. Get that pushed in there. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna put a little glue underneath and try to get these little legs over the slit part, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay guys, so there it is. Handle feels nice and sturdy. Of course I just did that, so obviously we're gonna let that dry. So what I'm gonna do with the rest of this is just decorate this front part, not what I would consider the back. This one is 350 GSM paper, obviously feels much sturdier than this guy. Let's give it a measurement, and then like I said, the rest is gonna be decorating. Oh, that is so funny, this little bow. I die cut this the other day just for funsies, and I can actually use that. Okay, maybe I'll do that. But anyway, maybe not though. So it's about just over 3.5 inches wide, 5 5/8 tall, I would say, and 1 1/4 inches deep. So nice little sturdy box. But again, those are just my tips. So what I would do, hopefully you can visualize what I was talking about this handle. I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but it's just something to think about. And if you do have two pieces, just stick them together, just glue them together, right? In the center. And then we have all these decorative pieces. So what I'm gonna do is probably do that frame just to bring more silver back into what's going on, since I didn't really use silver, or like the paper, I think tends more towards gold or copper. But what I'm going to do on camera, but with music, cut this out of the same silver paper just to bring that in. I don't know, it fits all the characters. They're showing all of them on here, so that's what I'm gonna do. In my mind, those pretty papers that I just picked up, I'm gonna do like an orange for this guy, maybe a gold background or something like that. Black, I guess the shiny black, because that's what I have right now. I did order their matte and shiny black paper, but it hasn't arrived yet. And then behind her, maybe something cute, I don't know, some fun color. Maybe like, I don't know. No, maybe like a yellow. Oh, I don't know if I have a yellow, shiny yellow. But anyway, and then with him, obviously green, and then with a black, shiny, or glittery background, something like that. These guys are for the side, so I can, again, maybe cut some silver just to bring that silver back in, and then top it with like some other fun Halloween color, right? These are two different things. And then this little guy is for like your little happy Halloween or something like that. So I don't have any Halloween like Anna Griffin stickers yet. They're on their way. I forgot what I ordered. Oh, the flower shop stickers, and those do have like a lot of Halloween sentiments, but they're not here yet. I thought they were in my last haul, and I was like, hey, they're not here. So, or just a sentiment from like one of the stamp sets that I have from Diamond Press or something, and then just cut it with that. If you want to use that, you don't have to. So the rest of this will be decorating. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry that I was just like, I can't let it go. I have to show you another way of putting this together, and then all the different handle iterations, and I'm sure there's other ones, but that to me is the best one. Just make sure you're leaving it hanging off quite a bit, and then when you come back through, also leave it hanging off and match it up to where you had already cut, so you can have a nice handle that looks nice and is not what they said here, and apparently not what they said in the demo either. Alright guys, I'll see you at the next one. I'll have images coming up, I'll have the item link in the description box, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.